Hello and welcome back to the Overdue Sports Show, episode 18 of the Overdue Sports Show. I'm your host, Jake Sawinski, accompanied always by Will Massa. How we doing, Will?
Fantastic. Another week of the sports world. Keep it going with college baseball and MLB. We're like a quarter into the year, into the MLB season.
Yeah, I don't know about you, but baseball betting for me, anyways, has been a little frustrating the last week. But that's
What's
what
new?
that's what you get when you put your hard-earned dollars on the Colorado Rockies in Game 2 of a doubleheader. They gave up 20 runs in the old Mile High City. I'm an idiot. Don't be like me. Do as I say, not as I do. But after some deliberation before the show started, we've gotten a few topics narrowed down, and we were just kind of talking before show about how difficult this part of the year is. But we're gonna focus in. We're gonna try to find some scoops to bring to the table every week, and keep trying to get this bad boy growing. So I want to start with some NFL. The big trade from, I don't know if it was yesterday or the day before, but George Pickens is in a new city. What were your initial reactions when you heard that George Pickens is playing for the Dallas Cowboys?
It was really odd to me because you go and get DK Metcalf and then you get rid of George Pickens. It seems like you just it felt like the whole point was to keep them together, and then you have two solid receivers, and then you ship off Pickens, and it's like, well, now what do we do? Are we just rolling? Do we just want one good receiver? We don't want two. Like, what are we what are we going for here? So I didn't really
Yeah,
understand it from that perspective. Like, I think it's a really good pickup for Dallas. Giving CeeDee Lamb a running mate that can go downfield and really stretch out the field, I think is really smart for them. But it didn't make any sense from Pittsburgh's perspective, in my opinion. And they've seemed to make questionable moves all offseason. You do the quarterback thing, you let both of them go for whatever reason. And I don't really understand what they're trying to do right now. But we all know that Pittsburgh's Lord and Savior Mike Tomlin is going to put together another 8-8
yeah,
season.
he'll find a way, and Pittsburgh fans will be frustrated, while the rest of the sports world is like, "What do you guys mean? You made the playoffs again?" And it's like, I'm I think if you were to go back and listen to the old shows we did, whether it was this, the new format or just a strictly YouTube format, and whenever this comes up, I think I took the stance of where I was like, a casual observer where I'm like, I don't get it. They're like relevant every year. They're in the playoffs, they're in contention. But then it's like I think this year really highlighted like how pipe dream that is. You know what I mean? Where only like a true Steelers fan understands, because like you watch that team and you're like, this team fucking sucks, but they're in the playoffs. So it's like I think I'm starting to get there where it's like maybe it's time to change something in Pittsburgh. But as the trade goes, to me, it seemed like offensively, anyways, like it's hard when like Dak Prescott was hurt all season. But like offensively, it seemed like the Cowboys and the Steelers were kind of in the same boat, like roster construction wise, if that makes sense, right? I would not call George Pickens a wide receiver one, but for this example, let's call him that, because on that team, that's what he was, like on the depth chart. You don't have any wide receivers. It was like a bunch of fill-in guys, especially for the Cowboys, right? Like this trade makes perfect sense for the Cowboys. Like you said, CeeDee Lamb as a running mate. And who are you going to throw to the whole time? Michael Tolbert? Or is it Jalen Tolbert or whoever the hell? Year before was De'Ami Brown. It's like CeeDee Lamb doesn't have like an actual wide receiver. And like tight ends don't count, right? Like there's only a few guys that you can put in that category, like as a pass catcher, like Travis
Kelsey,
Kelsey or
Brock Bowers.
Brock Bowers is super young. So, I mean, I think it's safe to say like he fits that mold. The guy had like 1,000 receiving yards his rookie year. Um, there's only a few guys you can kind of put in that, oh, he's like a wide receiver type category. You know what I mean? So, like, you can't throw Jake Ferguson or Pat Fryermuth involvement. Like, those guys shouldn't be leading your team in catches. So, or, being top 2 or 3. So I think the trade makes perfect sense for the Cowboys. But like you said, the Steelers made that move to like be in that same position as the Cowboys are in now, right? It's like, okay, we got a true bona fide one wide receiver, and George Pickens is an excellent complement to that. And now he's just on the other team. So it's like they one step forward, one step back. I mean, yes, Pittsburgh does have a true one now, but
yeah,
you know what I
which
mean?
doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
And,
exactly.
I don't understand what they're doing.
No,
I
I
do
don't.
not get what they're doing.
Who did they draft again? Didn't they go with like a defensive back? I don't remember who they drafted. If they drafted a wide receiver, okay, I
Yeah,
guess.
they drafted Derek Harmon from Oregon.
Okay, so I guess it kind of makes sense. And like maybe with George Pickens, it's like he's a little immature. Like we think he's funny, but maybe in the locker room, that's not like a good thing.
Oh, it's probably
maybe.
not funny if you play with him. Okay,
Yeah,
but he would have been the wide receiver too. Like that would have been perfect. They literally took exactly what the Steelers needed to do, and they just let the Cowboys take it. And I get it; they did it for draft capital, so like it's not like they didn't get anything out of it. So I get it, but I don't know. I don't understand what they're doing.
But like going back to the Steelers fan perspective, it's like maybe being bad a year will help you get some better draft capital where you don't have to, move a guy that you probably shouldn't in order to get that capital. But I don't know. Who's even playing quarterback for them?
Will Howard or Mason Rudolph or Skylar Thompson. That's what I mean. Like
it won't be him. He's garbage.
Be.
It'll be Will Howard. Mason. Oh, see, like Mason Rudolph wasn't very good this year, and I don't think he is like a starting caliber quarterback in the NFL.
He's a fine backup.
But I think he can manage enough games. And like truthfully, that's kind of what they were doing anyways outside of, the first 2-3 weeks of Justin Fields and the first 2 weeks of Russell Wilson. Like that's what they were doing anyways. So like the style of play is going to be the exact same. I don't think
like the whole point of getting Metcalf would have been to make it easier on a rookie quarterback. So like if you think that Will Howard is the dude, the whole point of that was to be like, let's give him as many weapons as possible. Like you still have Najee in the backfield, like that's going to take a big load off of him, which is good. And then you had DK and Pickens, and you're like, okay, like this roster construction, even though it's a rookie quarterback, like he can probably make things happen with those around. Like he can probably be serviceable this year, regardless of what you think of his talent. Like you've got enough around you. DK's a freak. You've got good running back room. I can't remember the backup's name either, but he had a really good year last year. Jalen Warren is their other running back. He had a good year last year. He's a good pass catcher. Like I don't get it. I just don't
and I kind of put my foot in my mouth about George Pickens maybe not being a great locker room guy. There's no way DK Metcalf is better. He's just as bad. Like they are the same. Minus, DK Metcalf is a freak athlete, but like the mannerisms are the same. Like they're comparable. So like I don't know what they're thinking. I'm kind of in the same boat as you. But I think this is a good win for the Cowboys, especially if Dak can play healthy because like I said, Jalen Tolbert and whoever the hell else, they're a bunch of nobodies. Like you got Jake Ferguson and Schoonmaker like pacing your team in catches outside of CeeDee Lamb. That's not good. So Kellen Moore's their coach too. Like I think the Cowboys might be a little fun next year. Something tragic will happen.
Every year. Yeah, we think that every year, and nothing ever really comes of it. I don't know. They'll be interesting. I really like that trade for them. Who do they? They just picked up somebody else too this offseason. I thought they did. I mean, they've got some young talent. I don't know. The wide receiver room is fine, I suppose. Maybe Jonathan Mingo will be good. I was kind of a big believer in him when he was in Carolina, and he literally is not.
He showed flashes. Anything. He showed flashes last year. Yeah, but I mean,
maybe it'll get him more involved. I don't know. I mean,
with Bryce Young struggling and Adam Thielen being out for a lot of the year, those are big shoes to fill, especially as a rookie or a second-year player in the league. Is stepping up and trying to be that guy for a struggling quarterback. He looked a lot better at the end of the year when that balance came back, with Thielen in the lineup and Bryce Young playing a lot better. So I don't hate it. I'm just like, I don't know how much you realistically expect out of a guy like him.
Yeah.
But speaking of tragic collapses every year, we've got quite the contrary up north. Toronto Maple Leafs Stanley Cup playoffs. They're out to a 2-0 lead against the defending Stanley Cup champions, Florida Panthers. Have you watched any of that?
No, I score watched the second game. It's been interesting because Florida handled Tampa, and I thought
Yeah.
we were kind of looking for like kind of same story as last year. I thought they were just kind of roll through this one.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe this is the year that Toronto finally does it.
Well, it's already the year because they've won a first round
That's
playoff
true.
series in the first time since like what, the late 90s, early 2000s. It's been at least 20 years. But they look really good. Not so much defensively. You're playing Florida, though. I mean, it's an offensively potent team, especially when you had Brad Marchand in the middle of the season. But they're scoring goals. You know, they're getting to Bob. Bob hasn't looked good at all, really. The one concern I have, though, is their goalie. Is it Stolars? He's not even traveling to Florida. So I might think that this series is going to be 2-2 going back to Toronto. But you're 2 games away from going to the Eastern Conference Finals for a team that, you know, they've been good for, last 10 years at least. So if you're a Leafs fan, you got to be really fired up.
Yeah, I mean it's been really interesting to see, and even like that Senators series was interesting. Obviously, it's the rivalry. The Senators were decent this year. I mean, they made the playoffs. They just play we always talk about styles make fights, especially in hockey. This is another one. Like that was like conflicting styles. Like the Senators were really physical this year, played really tough defense, but that came with a lot of aggressive mistakes. Toronto capitalized on that.
Yeah.
And now you're kind of playing a team that's more similar to your style. And I actually think it's benefiting them right now. So,
yeah.
I mean, I still think that Florida has the goalie advantage. I mean, we know what
100%.
Bob can do in the playoffs. So I'm not overly concerned with like what he's going to be through the series. I mean, but you got to like your odds, right? I mean, you're up 2-0. You got to be feeling pretty good about yourself.
Yeah, and like watching the games, like you don't get a sense that like, oh, the Maple Leafs are gonna just piss down their leg and give this game away. Like they were up the entire game for the most part. Like I don't remember who scored first in game 2, but like everything's clicking for them. Nylander's like leading the the playoffs in points, or if he's not, he's up there. He's like 2 or 3. I think it's behind Rantanen for Dallas and Connor McDavid, of course. But everything's clicking for him, playing good defense and scoring good enough defense, I should say. I mean, looking at the box score, you wouldn't get that impression, but Florida looked lost for, a couple of those periods there. Got anything else to add to the Leafs? Because the West is a bit of a surprise too with Vegas, but
yeah, no, that's all I got there. That Washington Carolina series is going to be really good through the end of it.
Oh yeah, that game was really good yesterday.
Yeah, tied up at 1-1, so that'll be a really good one to watch. Yeah, the West has been really interesting. Edmonton out to a 2-0 lead on Vegas, and the Stars, to no surprise, are up to a 1-0 start on Winnipeg. I think Winnipeg's time is running out.
I think so
think
too.
Dallas is really good. And getting through Colorado in that series was really impressive. Like that's a really tough 2-3 matchup.
Yeah, and I don't want to say like underseeded because that's not really how it works. Like, like you compare it to a college basketball tournament, right? That term comes up all the time, underseeded, overseeded. But that's more chance, right? Like in the pro sports setting, you earn that spot. But it seemed to me like Colorado was much better than whatever seed they were in that playoff. Like I think that might be.
We're just saying like from talent wise, they were a 3 seed, but we're just saying like talent wise, they're better than a 3. That ends up being a really tough 2-3 matchup.
Mm-hmm. And I mean it went 7, and they gave up home field or home ice advantage right away, lost game 1, but then they had like an impressive road win in there too. So it's like they're tested, you know. I think the game 7, does it make them tired? Perhaps, but I think those guys are so young they don't look tired. They did it without Jason Robertson too in that whole first series. He's back now, so I think you're right. Like I think Hellebuck being a poor playoff goalie is gonna come back to bite them. And it just seems to me like Winnipeg doesn't like they're lucky to even be here. Like St. Louis should have won that series, the first series. And to me it doesn't seem like they have go. Like, well, but look at game 7. They scored 2 goals and yeah, but like that's one example. Like game 6, they were up 1-0 and then all of a sudden they're down 5-1. It's like it just seems like the urgency is not there for them. And Dallas is too good. Like you can't be playing around with them. But I think Dallas and Edmonton are on a collision course for the Western Conference Finals again. And I think Dallas is going to get their revenge.
Yeah, I'm 100% with you. Definitely a surprise being out to a 2-0 lead on Vegas. Like, I think we talked about
Vegas blew both of those leads too. Like,
yeah,
especially game 1. I think I don't know what happened game 2. I kind of turned off the game when they were up or tied at 1, and then all of a sudden it 5-4 final. Betting unders in the West has been tough. In the East, it's been a little better, but I don't know. I was pretty high on that Vegas team, and I just don't think they can keep up. And it's not because of defense, clearly, because Edmonton's allowing a boatload of goals every game. But Draisaitl and McDavid, and then Nugent Hopkins is playing well. Bouchard and Darnell Nurse on the D playing well too. So it's like, I don't know. Clearly, we don't know hockey as in depth as we should, but it's hard to pay attention to everything.
I only follow the Rangers. It's as much as I love hockey and I watch the playoffs, I don't follow it other than the Rangers. So I just can't get in depth. Like I see what I see when teams play the Rangers, but like I don't.
Yeah,
you know, I don't even really box score watch across the league. I do standings watches through the season, but like that's more so for the sake of the futures I take rather than interest in around the league. I'm far more invested in my team.
Yeah, I feel like I've got a pretty good broad knowledge of the NHL. Like I know most of the players and most of the contributing players on a lot of the teams, and I have a general idea of how each team is, but that's just from gambling on it. That's not necessarily me being a puckhead or anything like that. Want to wrap up with some baseball? We can keep this one a little bit shorter. No need to ramble on here, but we were talking about this one a little bit pre-show, and we got into a little conversation about Paul Skenes. And I want to preface this by saying that I don't think he's bad at all. Like, he's very good. And we were kind of talking about his walk rating and, like, throwing deep into counts or whatever. Moral of the story is he's really good. But the Pirates are not really good. And my conclusion is I don't want to hear about Paul Skenes anymore. And it's not because of Paul Skenes. It's not at all. I'm being entirely truthful. He is a great player. He's going to be the face of the league pitching-wise in 5 years. He's just on the Pirates, and that's not his fault. I just don't want to hear about him anymore because that makes me think about the Pirates and how bad they are.
Yeah,
I don't think that's a bad take. I don't want to hear about it anymore.
I get it. It's similar to what we talked about last season with Ohtani because it seemed like every day, regardless of what happened, you just are hearing about only Ohtani, and it's like, all right, give it a rest, right?
Mm-hmm.
I get what you're going with it. And, like, I think this year it makes a lot more sense to be on that train. I love watching him pitch. Paul Skenes
I do too.
I'll tune in. I don't care how yucky the Pirates are. I'll watch him pitch, right? He is 3-4 right now, his record. He has a 2.77 ERA. Hitters are hitting under 195 against him.
It's criminal.
And he's pitched about 6 innings every single start. Right, and he's averaging allowing 2 hits a game, and he's 3-4.
It's criminal.
It's disgusting. And like last year at least he was 11-3, right? Like he came in, they were winning behind him. the stuff is still there. Like the stuff hasn't changed, right? The strikeouts are slightly less in terms of K per nine than what they were. The strikeout percentage is slightly under, striking out 25% of the guys rather than I think he was
30.
at 33 last year.
Yeah, whatever.
The pitch count, to your point, like he's got 12 walks on the season. 8 of them are in the last 2 starts. So I think that part has come in the last 2 starts, but like you lost 2-1 against the Cardinals. You gave up 2 hits and 2 earned runs. It's like, okay. The Cubs scored 3 earned runs against them and you lose 8-3. Like the dude just can't catch a break. Like it doesn't matter what he does. It seems like he just can't catch a break. And sure, like he didn't look sharp against the Cubs. That's going to happen. He's in his second full season. We're finally going to see some starts where he's not just untouchable, right? Guys are going to make adjustments in his second year. Tendencies are going to start to get picked up. Not saying that he's going to have a 3.5 ERA. He's probably still going to be in the NL Cy Young conversation, but he's 3-4, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm all for showcasing your best players, right? Our biggest gripe with the MLB is that we don't market the best players in the league other than, one guy, right? I think the MLB struggles to showcase the
all
best
of their
players,
talent. Yeah.
right? Other than 1 or 2. We always hear about Ohtani. We always hear about Judge. We always hear about Soto. How often do you really hear about Kyle Tucker? How often do you hear about Jose Ramirez, right? It's
Never.
Like, I get
Jose,
it.
yeah.
And he's
Jose
like
Ramirez is
guy.
like one of the most dependable guys in the league. Yeah, like to your point, it's like they only seem to market one. It's Ohtani. But yeah, and of course Aaron Judge, right? He's in a big market and all that stuff. But even Judge, I feel like doesn't get the glazing Ohtani does.
Yep.
And it seems to be that Paul Skenes is the new poster boy for pitchers, which I have no problem with. It's just he's on the Pirates, and I don't want to hear about the Pirates anymore. Like I don't. Like they should be relegated. Like they're terrible. We talked about it during our preview team by team. We went through every team, and we were like, "What is this team doing?" Like they have pitching talent and a good rotation with Paul Skenes in it. Without it, it's still probably serviceable depending on what coin you flip, right? But like their lineup got worse. It literally got worse. It's like they're stuck in purgatory. And I just don't want to hear about it anymore. So please trade Paul Skenes to literally anyone else besides the Rockies or the White Sox.
I'll be really curious to see what happens in free agency because, like, I see it from both ways. If you're a Pittsburgh fan, if you're the Pittsburgh GM, you are making the biggest mistake of your entire career to not extend Paul Skenes for as long as you possibly can. And it's hard for me to say because, like, I think Paul Skenes is a guy that isn't going to chase money, if that makes sense. Like, he's not just going to say, okay, I'm going to sign with New York or San Diego just because they're going to pay me a shit ton of money.
Yeah, I think he wants to win.
I think he wants to win, but like, I genuinely believe that if Pittsburgh was semi-competitive, he would sign there for his entire life. I genuinely believe that. Like, I don't think he really cares about the money. That's kind of just, I have nothing to actually back that up just based on his track record. Like, military dude, as soon as he retires, he's going back into the Air Force. Like, he just doesn't strike me as I'm going to see how much money I can make. So I don't really know. Like, it's just really hard because they're so uncompetitive. Like, even if they were in the Reds position where that you were like a couple pieces away, you're competitive enough, you're probably underperforming based on what you actually have, then I would be like, okay, yeah, I'll sign that contract. I'll sign that 10-year deal. They're horrible. They don't have anything. Like, there's nothing to be excited about in that lineup. They have scored the second least amount of runs only to the Rockies. They've only scored 3 more runs to the Rockies. To your point, they're like middle of the pack in the MLB in runs allowed this season. Their run differential is minus 57.
Yeah, like if they had any bit of hitting, they would be competent. They would be competitive. Any bit of hitting. And it's almost like the Rangers syndrome, right? It's like how it's like a week and it's already come back to bite them. Like the Rangers are bad now. But it's like how are you winning these games scoring 2 runs a game? You can't. Like the Rangers were the exception there. The Pirates is like the realistic case of what happens when you can't hit. And it's like you said, they're middle of the pack with the pitching. Yes, their bullpen's bad. Yes, Mitch Keller is like flipping a coin. What's his name? Bubba Thompson? He'll be up. Is that
He'll be
what
up
it is?
eventually. Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
but
odd.
yeah, and he's another promising prospect they have, but look at the Pirates' track record with keeping their starting pitchers. They like
That's
Eric
what I mean.
Kogo. Yeah, like
You have to keep Skenes and Jared Jones and Bubba Thompson if you ever want to be competitive. But you're not going to be competitive by just not signing bats. Like the fact that your biggest deal right now for a bat is Brian Reynolds, and no shade on Brian Reynolds, very solid player, not a superstar. Let's be very clear. He is not a superstar.
Yeah, he's not even a great player. He's a good player. Like
he's a very solid player. You know, he's pretty much one of those guys, you know exactly what you're going to get on him day to day.
Yeah, 270, 280, 10, 15 home runs from each side of the plate. But that's his ceiling, and it's nothing. That's not bad. But he's a good 5-6 hitter on like a really good team. You put him on like the Dodgers, he's probably hitting 6th for them, 5th for them. You know what I mean? And there's nothing wrong with that. There are more of the guys are like that in the MLB than not. But like you can't rely on him to be your best player because you will be exactly what you have.
And they do.
They have like. Who have they had on that team outside of Brian Reynolds hitting for them that's worth a lick the last 5 years? What, O'Neal Cruz?
Like, the talent is there, but it's like, you know what I mean? He's a guy that here's the thing with him, in my opinion on him, is that is a guy I would feel comfortable hanging your hat on and saying, if he figures it out, he is an MVP caliber player. Like if it all comes, kind of like Ellie De La Cruz, right? Mm-hmm. Very, very similar. If the things come together the way that the talent shows and some of the advanced stuff shows that they can, he is a legitimate MVP candidate. And that's a guy that you always feel comfortable taking the risk on, right? So I don't really have the issue with that. But then it's like, okay, you look at the rest of the lineup.
Yeah, you have 7 other holes.
Like, what are you doing? Like, that's where it becomes a problem, right? It's not necessarily that O'Neal Cruz hasn't figured it out, but it's like, okay, you have Joey Bart. It's like you went and got Joey Bart in the offseason. Henry Davis was supposed to be really solid, and he's still young.
Out. Yeah,
I mean, he's
not there yet.
Fine. Like Key Brian Hayes was quite literally one of the worst qualified hitters in the MLB last year, and I thought he was actually going to have a decent year. Like he's kind of showing that he's not really there. Like you still have McCutchen, who's
I'm not going to count him though. I mean,
you know what I mean. Like,
yeah, exactly. That's more of a retirement tour though. Yeah, but like that's a guy you'd want to have playing like 70 games, not 120.
Yeah, and you went and signed Tommy Pham this offseason. Nothing against Tommy Pham, but like, how does he really move the needle for you? Jared Triolo is fine. You just called up Lee Oliver Peguero. I'll be curious to see what he does long term. Like I don't know.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, though. There's like too many what ifs with this team. It's like you need a perfect storm to be where you want to be with this roster, the way it's constructed. And I mean, that's only two phases of it. Their bullpen's still atrocious.
David Bednar is not good. I think it's time to just accept that he had one really good year.
Yeah, he's bad, which sucks because he captivated seam heads for 1 year. But yeah, he's garbage. But I don't want to talk about this team anymore. I don't know about you, but it's just sad. I don't want to hear Paul Skenes anymore. I'm sorry. Like he's awesome. He's sick, but it's different from the Ohtani thing because it's like, oh, the entire Dodgers team is good. Like stop talking about Ohtani.
Yeah,
but at least they're good. It's warranted. Like the Pirates are like fucking garbage. Whatever. Well, speaking of garbage, how about the Red Sox? Devers, Rafael Devers comes out. Was it yesterday? Today? I saw it this morning.
2 days ago.
2 days ago?
Or yesterday, yeah.
He's like, I am DHing now. I'm not the guy that you can just stick in any position. You move me from third base to DH, now I'm DHing. What do you think about that?
I don't know. He has always been an overhated defender. Like he is not as bad defensively
Yeah, I
as the
think you're right.
media makes in baseball Twitter specifically makes him out to be. He's not a great third
Yeah,
baseman.
I'd say he's
He's not
average.
you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
he is they make him out to be like when we watched Jose Altuve playing left field the first 2 weeks of the season. Like they make him out to be like the worst defender at third base. He isn't horrible over there. Like I don't care what anybody tells me. He is not as bad as the media makes him believe, or the media makes us believe that he is. I don't know. I struggle with his take on it. I sort of get it. Like sort of. Because you come into the season and it's like we signed Bregman and they were kind of on the fence of what they were going to do with him, and they wouldn't really come out and make a statement of whether or not he was going to play third, and they were kind of like, no, it's his position, this, that, and the other. And, the media kind of blew it out of proportion, made it a big deal, made him say some things that he probably shouldn't have said. And then you have, Bregman saying, oh, I'll play wherever. And Devers was like, I play third.
Handling it well, yeah.
Yeah. So it was like you kind of had this weird thing to start the year. It's like Bregman is a better defender, no matter what way you cut it. He's a college shortstop.
Anywhere,
very athletic.
yeah.
Yes. And to my point, like Devers is not a great defender. He's fine at third. He is what he is, right? Bregman is a better defender. They want to push him over to first base, or, they want to do what they did with Vladdy and maybe see if first base he can stick, because Lord knows Tristan Costas isn't working out. He's horrendous right now. So I don't know if he's ever going to figure it out. I'm not a Costas believer personally. I know Red Sox fans are very split on the topic. They're either he's Barry Bonds or he's the worst player ever. Get him out. So not really much of that middle ground where he actually falls. But, I get it. It's hard to say. He's always going to produce with the bat. You have to keep him in the lineup somehow. If he's going to be butthurt at the fact that he's not going to play third base every day, and you can't, as a player, it's like you can't look at Bregman and say he is objectively better defensively.
So yeah, you get to DH, and you're like, what? Yeah, Devers
he is. He just
categorically not as good at third base. Like, there's no way around that. Yeah.
No. It's silly. It's unnecessary drama for a team that isn't even fully out of it. Like, to say that they stink and they're out of it is completely false, because that division is like
bad, minus the Yankees. Yeah, bad.
Yeah, but the Red Sox are only 2 games back, and then everybody else is under 500. So it's
like as a whole, that division's bad. But the Red Sox
and you're
are still
and you're
there.
right. Yeah, and you're right in the mix. So for him to be, doing this, I think is silly, because it's just going to take away from the team, in my opinion. Right? He's always going to be a stud with the stick. Like, he's always going to mash. What he's going to produce at the plate. He's going to be a stud. His numbers are, he's probably on pace to break what he did last year, which is great. He's already got 6 home runs, 20 plus RBIs. He's walking more, he's striking out about the same. So there's, not the downside that's coming with it. He's just a stud, right?
Yeah.
You have a better third baseman on your team. That's the reality. That is the reality of the situation.
Yeah.
I don't think there's more to it. Like,
no.
It's very similar to what we saw in the preseason. Like, the preseason got blown so far out of proportion. I thought it was silly. I think we even talked about it. It was just like, he said it. Like, what do you like? It just is what it is, right? We thought the first time it was silly. I think this is silly too. I think it's getting blown way out of proportion, but there was drama around it in the preseason, so we have to make more of it than what there actually is.
Right. I think that's all we really had. Do you have anything else you want to?
You feel similar? Am I off base on that?
Oh, no, not at all. No, I wasn't going to follow up because I was implied I agree. But yeah, no, it's crazy.
I don't get it.
Yeah, you'd think he'd want to be like in a position where it's like, okay, I'll do whatever I can to help the team. Yeah,
like they're legitimate competitors this year.
Yeah.
Like they can actually contend for a World Series this year with the position and like the state of the AL, and like you're gonna throw a hissy fit over playing DH.
Yeah, and it's like and it's like you're DHing right now. All you have to do is worry about hitting, and he's a notoriously slow starter, but I feel like he's not even hitting the best he can right now anyway. So it's like, just worry about that. You know what I mean?
I don't get it. It's silly.
Yeah. I don't know, but kept it a little shorter this week. Do you have anything else you want to throw in there? Because it's a bit of a struggle to come up with a few things to talk about for this show.
That's all we got. Make sure you're following the YouTubes, following the Twitter, following the Substack. All of that is on our Twitter, so head over there, find all the links. I know this one's coming out a little bit late. We'll be back earlier next week, the usual day, and we will see you next week.